Hello, Ben. How you all doing? Today, I think we need to talk about Psyops. This is something I've covered a few times before, mostly on my YouTube channel, and in dribs and drabs here, but I think this needs to be explained a little more, maybe. One of the clearest identifying markers for when you're dealing with the Psyop, more than any other, is the repeated nature of information, usually by media sources, the parroting that you see, the same words, the same phrases, the same terminology being used over and over and over and over and over again. There's also the fact that the story seems to go nowhere. It doesn't really have any sort of conclusion, any sort of end point. It just seems to dissipate and vanish, almost as if it wasn't there to start with. These kind of things you can see very clearly with this entire drone situation. So then a few things then have to come to mind. Well, what is the reason? Cui bono? Who benefits? What laws or rights that you currently have may be affected by any kind of legislation that is brought in because of this thing that's going on. See, one thing with these drones, and you can kind of see the narrative being created here. One thing with these drones is that they can get to places that a person on their own might not necessarily be able to get to. During things like the Maui fires, several other fires that have been of significance, where they had to ban drone traffic from flying over the top, but people still got away with it anyway a couple of times. Certain situations like wars that may start or have started, showing the real devastation of an area when they're trying to cover that devastation up, perhaps. Drones give us a glimpse into a world that a controlling force might not necessarily want you to see. This is why this is a global thing. I think they're trying to eliminate people's access to these drones, or at least heavily restrict them in some way and regulate them. But that's not all. There's several very, very clear pieces of footage of what aren't necessarily drones, but something else, something less explainable. And you can't rule out the use of AI or CGI in a lot of these little clips, simply for the fact that both are now at a stage where realism is practically assured. So a lot of these AI generated ones are getting through, but then there's others. And these are the plasma-like ones. And it's here where this kind of psyop may be being used as well. You know, there's a large influx of these things because of the activity of certain things in our orbit, certain clouds of plasma in our orbit, that is also increasing the amounts of encounters with these plasma entities. And if you're trying to hide that or play it down, what better way than using your own drones? Now people may turn around and say, yeah, but they morph and everything. Is that right? Look up morphogenic skins for aircraft. These are already a reality. The skin of an aircraft that can be changed to adapt to its environment, to its situation, to its method of flight. These things are incredible and already in use. Don't believe me? Look them up.